The king's cheese is half-wasted in parings, but no matter, 'tis made of the people's milk. There's many witty men whose brains can't fill their bellies. Be slow in choosing a friend, slower in changing. A ship under sail and a big-bellied woman are the handsomest two things that can be seen common. When male and female in conjunction lie, then, maids, whatever is asked of you, deny. Let all men know thee, but no man know thee thoroughly. Men freely ford that see the shallows. Ah, simple man, when a boy 2 precious jewels were given thee, time and good advice, one thou hast lost, and the other thrown away. If you'd be wealthy, think of saving more than of getting. The Indies have not made Spain rich, because her outgoes equals her incomes. When knaves fall out, honest men get their goods. When priests dispute, we come at the truth. Experience keeps a dear school, yet fools will learn in no other. He's gone and forgot nothing but to say farewell to his creditors. Monkeys, warm with envious spite, their most obliging friends will bite. Tomorrow you'll reform, you always cry. In what far country does this morrow lie, that 'tis so mighty, long ere it arrive? Beyond the Indies does this morrow live? 'Tis so far-fetched, this morrow, that I fear 'twill be both very old and very dear. How many observe Christ's birthday? How few his precepts? Ah, 'tis easier to keep holidays than commandments. He that drinks his cider alone, let him catch his horse alone. Who is rich? He that rejoices in his portion. The devil wipes his breech with poor folks' pride. Strange, that a man who has wit enough to write a satire should have folly enough to publish it. Have you somewhat to do tomorrow? Do it today. The painful preacher, like a candlelight, consumes himself in giving others light. Speak and speed, the close mouth catches no flies. A lawyer being sick, and extreme ill, was moved by his friends to make his will, which soon he did, gave all the wealth he had to frantic persons, lunatic and mad. And to his friends this reason did reveal, that they might see with equity he'd deal. From madmen's hands I did my wealth receive, therefore that wealth to madmen's hands I leave. Half-wits talk much, but say little. A, they say, has a wit. For what? For writing? No. for writing not. An open foe may prove a curse, but a pretended friend is worse. Let thy maidservant be faithful, strong, and homely. Wealth is not his that has it, but his that enjoys it. 'Tis easy to see, hard to foresee. A little well-gotten will do us more good than lordships and sceptres by rapine and blood. In a discreet man's mouth, a public thing is private. On his deathbed, poor Lubin lies. His spouse is in despair. With frequent sobs and mutual cries, they both express their care. A different cause, says Parson Sly, the same effect may give. Poor Lubin fears that he shall die, his wife that he may live. Here comes courage, that seized the lion absent, and ran away from the present mouse. Caesar did not merit the triumphal car more than he that conquers himself. Although thy teacher act not as he preaches, yet, ne'ertheless, if good, do what he teaches. Good counsel failing men may give, for why? He that's aground knows where the shoal doth lie. Nor eye in a letter, nor hand in a purse, nor ear in the secret of another. He that buys by the penny maintains not only himself, but other people. Great talkers should be cropped, for they have no need of ears. Those who in quarrels interpose must often wipe a bloody nose. Where yet was ever found the mother who'd change her booby for another? He that hath a trade hath an estate. There are no fools so troublesome as those that have wit. Late children, early orphans. Quarrels never could last long, if on one side only lay the wrong. Up, sluggard, and waste not life. In the grave will be sleeping enough. My old friend Berryman often, when alive, taught others thrift. Himself could never thrive. Thus, like the whetstone, many men are wont to sharpen others while themselves are blunt. Visit your aunt, but not every day, and call at your brother's, but not every night. Tart words make no friends. A spoonful of honey will catch more flies than a gallon of vinegar. Give me yesterday's bread, this day's flesh, and last year's cider. What you seem to be really. Sloth, like rust, consumes faster than labor wears. The used key is always bright. Prayers and provender hinder no journey. There are more old drunkards than old doctors. Hear reason, or she'll make you feel her. Make haste slowly. Light gains, heavy purses. The way to see by faith is to shut the eye of reason. Drive thy business, or it will drive thee. Changing countries or beds cures neither a bad manager nor a fever. What's proper is becoming. See the blacksmith with his white silk apron. The morning daylight appears plainer when you put out your candle. The most exquisite folly is made of wisdom spun too fine. As pride increases, fortune declines. You say you'll spend £500, the world and men to know, and take a tour all Europe around, improving as you go. Dear Sam, in search of others' sense, discover not your own, but wisely double the expense, that you may pass unknown. Neither trust, nor contend, nor lay wagers, nor lend, and you'll have peace to your live's end. The muses love the morning, thirst after desert, not reward. An empty bag cannot stand upright. Happy that nation, fortunate that age, whose history is not diverting. What is a butterfly? At best, he's but a caterpillar dressed. The gaudy fops, his picture just. Tricks and treachery are the practice of fools that have not wit enough to be honest. Who says Jack is not generous? He is always fond of giving, and cares not for receiving. What? Why, advice. Fear not death, for the sooner we die, the longer shall we be immortal. Whimsical Will once fancied he was ill. The doctor called, who thus examined Will. How is your appetite? Oh, as to that, I eat quite heartily. You see, I'm fat. How is your sleep o' nights? 'Tis sound and good. I eat, drink, sleep, as well as ever I could. Will, says the doctor, clapping on his hat, I'll give you something shall remove all that. There are lazy minds as well as lazy bodies. When you speak to a man, look on his eyes. When he speaks to thee, look on his mouth. Observe all men, thyself most. Wish not so much to live long as to live well. If any man flatters me, I'll flatter him again, though he were my best friend. If you have time, don't wait for time. There's none deceived but he that trusts. None but the well-bred man knows how to confess a fault, or acknowledge himself in an error. Eat to please thyself, but dress to please others. Search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. Drive thy business, let not that drive thee. Laelius, who loves to hear himself discourse, keeps talking, still as if he frantic were, and though himself might nowhere hear a worse, yet he no other but himself will hear. Stop not his mouth, if he be troublesome, but stop his ears, and then the man is dumb. There is much difference between imitating a good man and counterfeiting him. Wink at small faults. Remember thou hast great ones. Each year, one vicious habit rooted out, in time, might make the worst man good throughout. Pay what you owe, and what you're worth, you'll know. Hunger is the best pickle. Enraged was Buckram, when his wife he beat, that she'd so often, lousy knave, repeat. At length he seized and dragged her to the well. I'll cool thy tongue, or I'll thy courage quell. Ducking thy case, poor Buckram, little mends. She had her lesson at her fingers' ends. Soused over her head, her arms she raises high, and cracking nails the want of tongue supply. Little strokes fell great oaks. 'Tis hard, but glorious, to be poor and honest. An empty sack can hardly stand upright, but if it does, 'tis a stout one. Daphnis, says Clio, has a charming eye. What pity 'tis her shoulder is awry. Sound and sound doctrine may pass through a ram's horn, and a preacher, without straightening the one or amending the other. Clean your finger before you point at my spots. He that spills the rum loses that only. He that drinks it often loses both that and himself. Fear to do ill, and you need fear not else. He that has not got a wife is not yet a complete man. Dine with little, sup with less, do better still, sleep supperless. A person threatening to go to law was dissuaded from it by his friend, who desired him to consider, for the law was chargeable. I don't care, replied the other. I will not consider. I'll go to law. Right, said his friend, for if you go to law, I am sure you don't consider. If you'd lose a troublesome visitor, lend him money.